Be seated, please. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, not sure if you can move back a little. Use this one. All right. This on. It's on. Put it on. Is it on? Not on. Beautiful afternoon. But it's a rainy and we're in a beautiful place among beautiful people, such as Miss Christine Dawkins, representing the Custos, Rotalorum of Manchester. Mr. Phillips is supposed to be on his way. Inspector Berthlin Lloyd, who is Safety and Security Sub-Officer for the Manchester Police. We have Miss Peter Gay Campbell, our Master of Ceremonies. There's Miss Diana McIntyre Pike, Founder President of Country Style Community Tourism, CCTV. We have from overseas, Washington, Miss Reagan Durkin, Peace Education Director from Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration Life. And she's the reason we're here. She's our partner. We have Dr. Marcia Brandon, Founder Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. We have Mr. Seymour Roden, representing Miss Lanisha Roden. We have Mrs. Valerie Dixon, Vice President of Country Style Community Tourism, CCN. And we have Mrs. Geraldine Robertson, Executive Member of the Manchester Peace Coalition. There is also Mr. Winston Nathan from Mayday Guidance Counselor at Mayday High School, and we were hoping some of his students would be with us. We have Mr. Bonnie Hewitt, well-known master drummer, and we have Miss Pamela Dunkley Thomas, who is representing Miss Dotlin Levy, past president of the Manchester Horticultural Society. And we have with us our videographer and sound team, etc., led by Miss Marcia White and team. We're all gathered here united in a cause for peace, the search for peace, the preservation of peace that exists, and the maintenance of our inner peace. The monument we will unveil this afternoon is a great symbol of the hope we have as a people to find true peace. Manchester Peace Coalition is also a symbol and part of that search for peace, and takes great pleasure in inviting Miss Peter Gay Campbell to be our Master of Ceremonies. She's the principal of Campbell's Castle Primary, a school presently making waves in the rural areas under her leadership. A mother of two, married to one husband for X number of years, and an advocate for peace. Mrs. Campbell, you may come.
Everything's underneath here somewhere. War and Peace by Shinmoy, by Shrai Shinmoy. Man invents war. Man discovers peace. He invents war from without. He discovers peace from within. War, man throws. Peace, man sows. The smile of war is a flood of human blood. The smile of peace is a love below and above. Peace is a whole truth that wishes to enrapture humanity. War is a whole falsehood that wants to capture humanity. Peace begins in the soul and ends in the body. War forgets peace. Peace forgives war. War is death of the life human. Peace is the birth of the life divine. Our vital possessions want war. Our psyche, emotions, desires peace. War is clear futility in dire spare stupidity. Peace is flowing infinity in glowing eternity. Man seeks war when he thinks that the world is not his. Man invites war when he feels that he can capture the world. Man proclaims war when he dreams that the world has already surrendered to him. Man seeks peace because his earthly existence desperately needs it. Man welcomes peace because he feels it. That in peace alone in his life is his life of death. The animal in man wars in the world of conflicting ideas.
President. She's just been appointed the president. But I show your hand so people who don't know you. Right. And Dorrit, I'd like to thank you because our chairman could not be here. But he's here in the sense of his spirit and so on, Dr. Clifton Reed. So Dorrit has been holding the fort. So thank you very much, Dorrit, for all that you have done. Okay, I just wanted to start off by saying that the Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration Light is the worldwide organization, and you'll hear more about it when Reagan comes up and speaks. But I am very happy to tell you that we have this peace monument here, but that doesn't mean it's the only one. The communities, we are recommending under the Manchester Peace Coalition to have one in each community, and it will be followed by the peace education program, which they will outline to train people to carry on the peace education. Now, what I feel good about is that I'm also the president of the Caribbean chapter of the International Institute for Peace through Tourism. In particular, Dr. Luda Moore, who came in 2013 to Manchester to our IIPT, as the acronym is, Caribbean Conference. And he was introduced to Dr. Clifton Reed. He was then in charge of the Brooks Park at the time. And Dr. Reed was very inspired by what he had to say about the peace and decided to spearhead the Manchester Peace Coalition, and Dr. Luda Moore was a co-founder of that. And he is very, very proud of this organization. He has bigged it up worldwide, and we are very happy that we are continuing the work. So when we got the grant from the Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration Light, there was nobody else or no other organization but the Manchester Peace Coalition to go forward. And they've done a good job, and we look forward to continuing the work. One thing I would like to mention is that we have the Manchester Wellness Foundation, which I'm a part of as well. And I'm putting a proposal forward, and I'm putting it on the table here, that in December we would like to have Wellness and Peace Festival, a weekend festival where we can celebrate what we have to offer, because Manchester has a lot of healthy vegetables and herbs and whatnot that we can bring to the table to teach the communities. And when we have a festival, we're planning to have a golfing for peace, because the IPT has a member of Golfing for Peace, which is international. So we will have a big force and have Manchester be the Peace Parish of Jamaica, Peace Parish, and the Wellness Parish. Can you imagine the two of them combined together? We are going to show the world what we're about. We have a country that is in dire need of helping the young people in the communities. We want to get investment in the communities. And we cannot get that unless we train the people in the communities to have a mindset of showing what they would like to have in their community, managing their community as a business. And the Villages as Businesses program that we have with the country style program is now recognized worldwide. We have got over 30 awards for our work. Villages as Businesses is now seen as a way forward. It has been endorsed by the United Nations as a way forward for the communities. And we teach communities how to manage their community as a business, do a business plan, and for them to move forward. There's no point in training people without having a way forward. So we have established the Community Tourism Fund, which is called ComFund. And the diasporas come on board with us, and they registered it in North America, and we're going to do the official launch of this year. Now, they have a board already, and the interest from the investment is going to go towards community projects and community businesses. So both grant funding and low interest funding. Now, if we get that together, we can move our communities forward and get people who are interested. And we have one of our diaspora people who is setting up a website specifically to highlight the projects from communities. So anybody who has any projects here, please get it to us, because we want to get a database going of the projects. We have an opportunity, no point sitting down and complaining. We have a God above who is guiding us. It's very important for you to know that when we created Villages Business, it was something that was given to me by the Holy Spirit when I prayed about it. And ever since that, my life changed, recognizing that you can help communities without having to go into politics. I'm saying it straight. Everybody thinks to be able to help communities you have to go into politics. No, we can do it. And we have the organization, we have the Manchester Peace Coalition, we have the Countryside Community Tourism Network, and all of us can come together. So I won't say any more because I know that we have more people to speak, but to just thank you all for coming and giving us the support that you are showing, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
So there you have it. You have all done well to come. Tell the person beside you, you have done well to come. Next person, you have done well to come. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot with your neighbor today, because of peace we said. Oh, good. So Ralph Waldo Emerson says, nobody can bring you peace but yourself. You agree with that, right? So turn to your neighbor and say, peace begins with you. Come on. And your next neighbor, peace. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good, good, good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We want to apologize for our chairman, as you heard, Dr. Reed, who is of the island, and the mayor has also sent his apology. Please listen now to greetings as our Safety and Security Sub-Officer for the Manchester Police, Inspector Berthlyn Lloyd, brings us greetings. Put your hands together for her as she comes.
Protocol having been established, I'll just say good afternoon, everyone. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be actualized by understanding. Today is another historic day in the parish of Manchester. As the community, as the country style community tourism network launched its first peace monument. This is the second peace monument to be launched in Manchester since the start of this year. The Manchester Peace Coalition has launched one in the Greenville community. So history is being committed again in Manchester. And we want to say thanks. The Jamaica Constabulary Force applaud the work of our partners, and Country Style is one such. Manchester Peace Coalition is one of our major partners with whom we have been working in over 18 communities, and we are indeed grateful because the constabulary cannot do it alone. It takes partnership. And with these partnership, the peace starts with us. And having working in these communities, we can expand and have a number of persons coming on board and being peacemakers. So let us continue to work together in partnership to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, do business, and raise families. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Great job, Inspector. Well done. Right to the point, the two. Beautiful. And it's, well done. I love that. Love it. Really short and spicy. Lovely, 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 Inspector Lloyd. And we encourage you to continue to do what you're doing because we need you. Safety is very, very important to us. All right, so the Peace Project overview will be done by the founder, Director of Innovations and Entrepreneurship, COESL, Dr. Marcia Brandon. She's coming now to do the overview of the project. This is a very, very important person, Put your hands together for her as she comes. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to follow Inspector and say protocol having been established, I will launch into my spiel. It's good to be here with you. I almost didn't make it. I didn't get my flight until 12 o'clock on Monday morning, and I jumped on a plane at 9:30, and I'm here. Yeah, it is good to be in Jamaica. I haven't been home since 2020, early 2020, yes. So, I want to go back to a gentleman by the name of Daniel Christian, who Reagan knows quite well. And Daniel was our initial partner. Now, before I say that, let me just say that COESL that you're seeing there is acronym for the Caribbean Center of Excellence for Sustainable Livelihoods. And that's an organization that three of us, three female founders, Caribbean ladies, founded in 2013 because we saw the need to help women and youth to make sustainable livelihoods for themselves. Our focus is on entrepreneurship, but we help them to make livelihoods for themselves, whether it's through starting their own businesses or through working for someone else. How peace comes into that is that COESL is actually bordered or pillared on 4 drivers, and those drivers are: number 1, ensuring that we work with people to help them to make their own sustainable livelihood. So we put people first. It's a very people-centric work that we do. The next piece is ensuring that we preserve our planet, and I'm glad that we're doing this in a green space because it's so important for peace.
The next P is maintaining peace. For us, peace is extremely critical when it comes to liberty. If we're alive, we need to know ourselves, we need to understand that peace actually begins with us. Peace within is critical for us to push it outwards to others. So it means that we do need each other, no matter how much we think we don't need each other, no matter how independent we think we are. We need each other. We are all interconnected and interdependent in one way, shape, or form. And we need to recognize it and live it. And so for us at COSL, love is critical, kindness is critical. Yeah? So Daniel Christian, I can't get out of here until the 29th. So, but the Minister Ishmael Davis, who is our MP and also the Minister of Innovation, he sent congratulations to all of you and greetings. You know, he's wishing you all the very best on the launch and also wishing peace for Jamaica and for the rest of the region, you know. So I end with sincere congratulations to Diana, to the coalition. I can't call everybody's name, I'm very sorry. But I'm going to say to all the team who were involved and to HWPL through Reagan and her team, they've done a fantastic job backing and forthing and just taking us through everything that needed to be taken through. And welcome to Jam Down. Enough rain and thing, but you know, we're still good. And thank you all for coming, and thank you, Diana, for taking up the challenge with your team to get this done. Congratulations and all the best.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Put your hands together for her one more time. Come on. Well done, right? Auntie Diane, well done. You spoke of 4 P's though. I remember, just remember the others. Um, wow, wow, wow. Come, oh Lord. Right student right there. I'm going to ask her to stand. Come, miss, stand. Look at her here. Right, Auntie Joan, right? Auntie Joan, the Reverend Auntie Joan Smith. Look at the color of her hair. You see it's golden? Wow. Tell us the 4 P's again, Auntie. People, plan, peace, partnership. Round of applause for Auntie. We have a gift for her. We're going to give her a flag right there. You have your flag already? Wave your flag. All right. Thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Good job. And thank you so much for the partnership. Great job. So, Dr. Reagan Durkin, she is our Peace Education Director, HCWPL. She has a message to share with us this morning, this afternoon. And so we invite her to come now and speak. Put your hands together for her as she comes.
Thank you so much. And yeah, just to clarify, not a doctor yet, but definitely a lover of peace. Yeah, I personally came upon HWPL about 4 years ago and realized that there's nothing else more important in the world to dedicate one's life to. And I really saw that even through the chairman of our organization, who really is the reason why we're able to go and do these kind of peace activities throughout the world. He's someone that he himself, even in an old age, has traveled the world over 30 times on world peace tours, meeting with presidents, prime ministers, ministers, NGOs, community members, to make sure that everyone is working for peace every day, not just speaking it with our lips, but truly putting it into action. And so that's why it was such a joy and such an honor for our organization to get to meet, as you heard the story from Dr. Brandon of how everything came to be and has blossomed here in Jamaica. But even before working with these wonderful organizations here today, we've gotten to partner with, it was mentioned, Mr. Hanam is here from UNESCO, and we've gotten to do two at this point regional peace walks throughout the Caribbean together since 2020. And so there's so much work to do. But the amazing thing is in Jamaica, there's so many people who are willing to do it. There's so many people who understand that even in the name of HWPL, right, the H is heavenly culture. And the reason why is because there's the rain that we're getting today, the light that we receive from the sun, the air that we breathe, none of it's ours, but it's given freely to all humans around the world, no matter who you are, what you look like, what language you speak, but we all receive it, right, from above. And so whatever even you believe, we all still get to wake up and to live every day. And so because of that love that we all receive, that's the kind of way that we believe peace should actually spread as a culture throughout all humanity. No matter what your actual nation is, and your personal culture is, we should celebrate the diversity, but within that should be unity and harmony. And so with where the world is today and what we see going on from Ukraine to Sudan to just the tensions in America and all over the world, we see Jamaica as a bright example for what peace could look like. And so the reason why we really are excited to work with Jamaica, and like Dr. Brandon mentioned, some other Caribbean countries as well, is because here it's such a bright example of not needing to go to war to solve problems. Now, is there issues and things we need to conquer within the country? Yes, for sure. We're humans and there's so many things that we need to work for. But on that level, we really are excited to work with the Manchester Peace Coalition and the Tourism Group and all of these different organizations here so that we can actually do peace education training. Our peace education training, happy to share more about it one-on-one, but essentially it breaks down what does it truly mean to be a citizen of peace, and it transforms the minds and the hearts and restores the character within students. And so we've seen this happen time and time again. So we're really, really looking forward to and excited to partner with the different villages that Miss Diana mentioned earlier, that they're already being worked on here, and implement that there so that we can see peace truly blossom here, and this restoration of light happen, especially among our youth. And we can't thank enough also the affiliates of IPYG and HWPL who are here today, who, even in the rain and from distances, that are much farther than what we had to drive this morning, came to really honor and take this time to showcase the importance of peace. So the last thing we would just like to say is that, this monument is truly just the beginning. We know that the work doesn't just end with a monument unveiling, but it's just the beginning of the work that needs to happen every single day to make sure that just like, some of those who have come before us, we've seen, and for us, the chairman of our organization, we've seen put an unending effort to make sure that peace is actually realized and not just something that we talk about at events like this. So we're so excited, and we just thank you all so much for having us. And what we like to say is we are one. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. And we are one. So you do this. We are one. So you come from this side, on the back. Come on.
We are one.
Oh, so you put some volume in your voice. Right? Some volume. All right, here we go. 1, 2, and. We are
one.
Again.
We are one.
Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Put your hands together for yourselves. All right, and there's a school of thought which says, no, let me just get it. The one that I want. Okay, when things change inside you, things change around you. You agree with that? Yeah, man. When we have the mindset, we start doing the things that are right. Not true? Right, to bring about the peace that we really, really need. All right, okay. So as was mentioned by Reagan, am I right? All right, we're prophesying Dr. on you here. Yes. We have with us Mr. Everton Hanham. He is the Secretary General for Jamaican National Commission for UNESCO. And so he is coming to greet, am I right? And so he's coming to greet us at this time. Put your hands together for him as he comes.
Thank you. Good evening, friends, colleagues. Let me pay special tribute to the organizers of this event. Um, Mrs. Diana McIntyre Pike from her renowned organization, the team that surrounds her and work with her, other members of the team. Of course, I want to also recognize HWPL coming together with the Manchester Peace Committee and other stakeholders. I want to recognize also representatives from the very important organization, Jamaica Constabulary Force, NGOs present, persons that share the kind of hair that I have. And it is, that's right, and it is not pattern or anything, it is natural. It demonstrates wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? And we'll, yes, and we keep it that way in spite of the request from our children and grandchildren. Daddy, why don't die here? I say, oh no. So I want to recognize everyone present in this important event in the salubrious climate of the parish of Manchester. Um, I'm going to begin my presentation, no, not a presentation, pull up, my few words by indicating since war begins in the minds of men and women, it is in the minds of men and women that the defenses of peace must be constructed. Those are elements from the constitution of UNESCO, UNESCO of which I'm a part of, representing Jamaica National Commission for UNESCO. We are pleased to have been partnering with HWPL in a number of activities, as mentioned by Reagan. Yeah, that give me another Reagan from that. Anyway, from Reagan, in listening to the representatives coming from Barbados via Jamaica, Jamaica via Barbados again, and the history of the organization and the collaboration that would have been done. The work goes on in terms of how best we can partner with all the organizations that are here. Partnership very important. The representative from the Junior Chamber International Young Leadership Organization, represented by their president, Odell, and the National Vice President, are also organizations on which we are going to build that platform and on which we are going to build a partnership so we can really move forward. So I want to commend the team this afternoon. I want to commend the effort that has been placed into making this activity really work. And of course, you can rest and rely on the support, the collaborative efforts of Jamaica National Commission for UNESCO in ensuring that the work of peace, because UNESCO is built on peace. UNESCO came out of that peace initiative. UNESCO was founded just after the Second World War, 1945. And vote that peace should also continue to be built. But UNESCO choose education, science, culture, communication, information, through which it would channel efforts towards peace. The jury is still out as if those objectives would have been achieved. But nevertheless, we still move along with working with UNESCO, just like how you have UNICEF, you have United Nations. Those are agencies that would have been established to promote, promulgate, and support efforts towards peace. And so in this warm Saturday, warm in our hearts, but refreshing in our the climate, I want to commend and thank you all for inviting us to be a part of it. And of course, we look forward to the support, continued engagement, so as to make peace. Peace definitely, as JC would indicate, peace is not just the absence of war, it is a built-in initiative in our minds, in our heart. Many countries still live without war, but still there is no peace. Famous songwriters, artists would have said, equal rights, peace, and justice. So I end by giving thanks, and thank you very much for engaging us. Madam Moderator, do your thing. Respect.
You're still off, that's true. All right, Uncle Everton, great job, man of wisdom. And historian, I tell you, if him could have taught the old day, that's true. Very good. Put your hands together for him one more time. Good job, good job.
Great job. All right, another school of thought says, do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. So inner peace is very important. Forget about everything else. and focus and find that peace. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we have with us Mr. Seymour Roden, and he's representing his sister Lanisha Roden. She is the founder, executive officer, and CEO of Young Women and Men of Purpose. And so he's coming to do the representation. Put your hands together for him. Big round of applause. His son is here. You have to, put your hands together loud, loud for daddy. Good.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So I stand today representing my sister, Lanicia Roden, and on behalf of the young women and men of purpose, I commend the Manchester Peace Coalition, Heavenly Culture, World Peace, and Restoration of Light, and all partner organizations as we celebrate the unveiling today of the Peace Monument under the theme Promoting Peaceful Communities. As society continues to evolve and conflicts arise, we must never forget that peace is something that has to be taught and effectively nurtured so that it becomes an acceptable norm to all those, even whose environments historically have been characterized by exclusion, violence, and upheavals. YWAP remains committed to doing its part in ensuring that we can continue to to the building and promotion of peaceful communities by catering to the holistic development of the individual mind, body, and spirit. Because unless the individual is built holistically, peace can never be sustained. Thank you.
Short and spicy.
Put your hands together for him one more time. Look at him. Look at his son. He's doing everything. This is the generation we're dealing with. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, sir. Good job. Well, and a hug too. You got this on the camera? Peace. That's where peace begins. Right in the home. His mother is right there. All right. And he was your student, Auntie Dawn. You mean Mr. Roden was a student? Oh, OMG. Great, great, great. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so we're a family here this afternoon. Good, good, good. So Mr. Dr. Reed is online somewhere, yes. However, his message is right here. So Mrs. Jones is going to read his message. She's going to also introduce our guest speaker. We're going to be asking our DJ right after the introduction to play the song Let There Be Peace on Earth. We're all going to stand and sing, and then we're going to welcome our guest speaker. Is that okay? Yes. All right. So right about now, put your hands together for Mrs. Jones.
Afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in harness this evening, unfortunately. On behalf of Dr. Reed, who is overseas, and he sends his greetings, and it reads us. Master of Ceremony, Mrs. Peter Gay Campbell, Principal of Campbell's Castle Primary. Our guest speaker, representing Lieutenant Colonel Honorable Garfield Green, Miss Christine Dawkins, JP. Our project partner, Miss Reagan Durkin, Dr. Marcia Brandon, Founder, Director of Innovations and Entrepreneurship. And I just wonder, since we have established those positions, I would just go ahead and not have to repeat them. Is that okay with everyone? Yes. Yes. Other representatives of the Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration of Light, as well as the Caribbean Center of Excellence for Sustainable Livelihoods. Mrs. Diana McIntyre Pike, Inspector Bertlin Lloyd, Mrs. Valerie Dixon, Mrs. Doris Jones, Miss Dotlin Levy's representative, that's Miss Pamela Dunkley Thomas, other members and colleagues of the Manchester Horticultural Society, My colleagues of the Manchester Peace Coalition, friends, brothers, and sisters, peace builders, it is truly a delight to bring this message on behalf of the Manchester Peace Coalition, an organization that is committed to, as the theme for this event says, promoting peaceful communities throughout this parish and by extension our beloved country, Jamaica. I feel inclined at the outset to thank Miss Reagan Durkin of the Washington-based Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration of Light for the generous grant that made the construction of this peace monument possible. Give her a round of applause, please. Not thank you, man. Stronger. I know the food will come later. Right? Yeah. I must thank as well Mrs. McIntyre Pike of the Country Style Community Tourism Network and the Caribbean Center of Excellence for Sustainable Livelihoods, whose partnership with the Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration of Light made all this possible. Most importantly, the picturesque ground on which this monument is located would not have been possible without the kind support of the mayor and the municipal corporation from which the Manchester Horticultural Society enjoys its lease. It is worth noting that the Manchester Horticultural Society, at 158 years old, is the oldest such body in the Caribbean, and with God's help, one day these grounds will boast a botanical garden for locals and tourists alike to enjoy. 150, the oldest in this hemisphere. Let us give a round of applause for the representative of the Horticultural Society. The Manchester Peace Coalition is a vehicle through which persons of goodwill can donate their time and expertise in the furtherance of peace in our parish. It has a vision to make Manchester a place of peaceful and holistic living. The mission is to reduce domestic violence, promote better parenting, reduce school dropout rates, support uniform youth groups, and reduce levels of child abuse in Manchester, and we would say interpersonal violence in Manchester, while promoting income generation projects in the targeted communities. And we have now gone up to 24. Specifically, we are working with 22. As I said, we have added 2 more at-risk communities. It is hoped that this monument will serve both as a rallying point and a powerful symbol for all those who work for the cause of peace. Our current and ongoing project, which is founded by UN Women's Spotlight Initiative, Chase Fund, and Mr. Paul Fraser of the Lions Club of Mandeville, is directed towards these. Training of violence interrupters, peace builders, with a focus on addressing domestic and intimate partner violence. And I must say, we just did a training in March for violence interrupters, and we're working on how we can deploy and employ them. Parental empowerment clubs subsumed in Parents Teaching Association, we're doing that, is ongoing. Drum therapy that is targeting struggling parents and their behavioral and academically challenged children. And it is said that drum therapy is a really effective way of calming, bringing peace to the souls of persons. So like David asking, Saul asking David to play and sing the harp, but we could substitute the drum. Again, corporate thanks to our funders and all those who work tirelessly to make today's event possible. I also want to thank former Mayor Miss Brenda Ramsey, who also sent her apology, under whose watch the first peace monument was built at Brooks Park. She has never wavered in her support for the work that Manchester Peace Coalition continues to do in our communities. In closing, let us commit to working together towards the building, promoting of peaceful communities our nation desperately needs for us to succeed in this endeavor. Clifton Reed, Chairman. Okay. And for the introduction to the guest speaker, Mine is the most pleasurable opportunity to introduce our beautiful guest speaker representing Lieutenant Colonel Garfield Green, Custos Rotalorum of Manchester, Miss Christine Dawkins, JP, Principal of Leeds Primary and Infant School, and a mother of one. She is not one to want a lot of, you know, accolades and dress up. So she says that's it for her. What she says will speak to her, whatever. Help us now. Help me to welcome Miss Dawkins. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for that introduction, Madam Moderator, my good friend, Mrs. Peter K. Campbell, Mr. Michael, Mr. Michael Phillips is not here yet, still. Dr. Clifton Reed, Chairman, Manchester Peace Coalition, in his absence. Dr. Marcia Brandon, Founder, Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Mrs. Diana McIntyre Pike, Founder and President of Country Style Tourism Network. Ms. Reagan Durkin, Peace Education Director, HCWPL. Mrs. Dorothy Jones, Second Vice President, Manchester Chamber of Commerce. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is indeed an honor for me to represent the Custos of Manchester, Lieutenant Colonel the Honorable Garfield S. Green, on this momentous occasion, very special occasion. Be here because of ill health, and I presume that he has tremendous confidence in me in asking me to represent him, especially at this short notice. I am going to try to do my very best, so please bear with me. It is my pleasure, therefore, to be here at this ceremony under the speaking under the theme promoting peaceful communities. Today marks a very special day in the parish of Manchester, which has consequently led us to be gathered here this afternoon. In this life, we desire our lives to be filled with love and fellowship, not lives filled with stress and separation. We want communities that truly have our backs. Agreed? Not communities that let the powerful prey on us. This astonishing mystery called life is most sacred, and it fills us with awe and wonder. It is therefore normal for us that when our lives are not filled with love and fellowship, there is somewhat of a feeling of emptiness. Some people try to work on this condition and seek assistance where possible, while some gradually become antisocial. The parish of Manchester, since recently, has seen an increase in the level of impropriety, especially among our youth. According to the crime statistics of Jamaica Constabulary Force for January 1, 2023 to April 30, 2023, there has been an increase in murder in our parish by 33.3%, and persons injured has increased by 50% compared to the corresponding period last year. This, of course, is cause for concern, and as law-abiding citizens, it has become our responsibilities to work along with the police and other organizations who are implementing means to curtail on the intolerable behavior by some of our people. I hail efforts of Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration, in partnership with Country Style Community Tourism Network, the Manchester Peace Coalition, in collaboration with the Manchester Horticultural Society and the Manchester Municipal Corporation for the tremendous work they have been doing. Now, as the theme depicts, promoting peaceful communities, one would wonder, what is peace? Well, according to Ronald Reagan, peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. It therefore means there will always be conflict. How we handle them is what makes the difference. Since peace is the ability to handle conflict, who do you think should come up with these solutions for peace? Many times we look to the government or the police force. But in actuality, what we should do is turn our fingers on ourselves and ask, what can I do to promote peace? After all, peace begins with each one of us. Let us look at our home situation. Children live what they learn. The home is said to be the first teacher. Therefore, the child depicts behavior that is being portrayed in their homes, which ultimately spills over into society. Just imagine a child who's constantly having negativity being hurled at them in all directions on a daily basis. Obviously, this would become their norm. How then can we expect them to know and do better? What positive value would that child have to offer to society unless being taught otherwise? Could all of society's problems be solved by how we interact and negotiate within our family unit? Possibly yes, because family is the foundation of society. It therefore stands to reason then that parents should be enabled to provide adequate guidance and then be held responsible and accountable. For this to work, the family needs adequate resources to sustain itself, such as proper infrastructure and job opportunities. Research has shown that poverty is what leads to the breakdown in family structure, family values, and the end result, you know what that is, lawlessness. The church also plays an important role in the promotion of peace. If children are taught to be God-fearing, meaning being taught good values at a tender age, then many of society's problems would have been diminished. We therefore need to go back to basics, building on a solid foundation in promoting good values and attitude which will uphold peaceful communities. The schools also are not exempted. Their role would be to strengthen the values that would have been taught at home and the church. It is at the school that the skills would have been developed as they learn to cohabit and interact with each other. Promoting peaceful communities means that we all have a role to play. It cannot be left to any one entity. It is up to each one of us as we interact with each other. We can achieve a peaceful community. We just need to gradually change our opinions, our mindset, allow old barriers to be eroded and break down, while we build new structures and formulate new ideas. Let us continue to promote peace in our corner, wherever we are. When a candle is lit, it lights the entire surrounding. Let us go, therefore, and do our part in promoting peace. I thank you.
Great job. She come out, that's true. I saw them say what I wrote. She come out, that's true. She forward, good. Put your hands together for her. Yes, indeed. Good job. DJ, we need that one. Carry your candle. Go light the world. I know the Custis loves that song. It's a theme song under his um, behavior, values and attitudes program. Right, the carry your candle thing. And we want to do that one. We're going to do that one. We're going to do the peace one afterwards, DJ. So let us all stand as we do carry your candle. Do that one. Yes. Just move your mouth, and if you don't you don't know the words, just move your bodies, whatever it is, all right? And spread the light. All right? And how do we do the carry your candle? Okay, let's remember we raise our hands like this. Carry your candle. All right? All right. Some bright and burning, some dark glow. There is a sweet, yes, who brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes it home. So raise your hand now. Carry a candle. Yes. Or your flag. Yes. Seek out the hope, confused and cold. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. Frustrated brother, see how he's trying to light his own candle some other way. See how your sister, she's been robbed the light too, still holds a candle without a flame. So carry your candle, run through the darkness, seek out the holy, unseen and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. Hearts are blazing. Whose hearts are blazing. So let's raise our candles, yes. And light up the sky. Pray to the Father in the name of Jesus. Make us a beacon in the darkest night. Carry your candle. Carry your candle. Run to the darkness. Seek out the helpless. Deceive them. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Carry your candle, run through the darkness. Seek out the hopeless. Run through the hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. Flags in the air. Wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Put down your flags and put your hands together for yourselves. You may be seated. Thank you so much. Wonderful job.
Thank you so much, Auntie Christine. Good job, good job. All right, so right now we have a message that will be delivered by our president, Country Style Tourism Network, CTN, Mrs. Diana McIntyre Pie. Put your hands together. Very messages.
Yeah. Okay, that was wonderful. That has really revived us nicely, that song. I just wanted to say that we have had people who could not come, who have sent their greetings and so on. And one of them is our president of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, Mr. Robin Russell, said he'd love to have come. He's from Manchester, and he says whatever support we need from the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, they will give it. Okay? And then um, I think before I go into the official messages here, we'd like to thank the chairman uh, of the Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration of Light, and he is Mr. Lee. What Lee is he? Okay. For his dedication to peace for the past 30 years. We are excited to join together with you, our peace, um, and to shine a light of peace for Jamaica and the rest of the world. That is from him. So I think, thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause. Okay. Now the International Institute of Peace through Tourism, which as I said before, I'm honored to be the Caribbean president, and I should mention that we were the first chapter out of North America, and I have been the president for 35 years. And it's a wonderful opportunity for us to join together and collaborate with the International Institute for Peace. And they sent a message. Congratulations and best wishes to Country Style Community Tourism Network and all the associated partners at the unveiling of the first peace monument in Jamaica at Brooks Park, Mandeville. This marks another important milestone in the IIP's mission to establish peace parks, peace towns, and peace villages across the globe in order to spread greater awareness of the power of tourism as a tool for peace and as a force for good. The IPT Jamaica chapter, Caribbean chapter, is the oldest and one of the most vibrant chapters of the IPT, and we are proud of this latest initiative of the chapter led by its dynamic president, Diana McIntyre Pike, in collaboration with the Manchester Peace Coalition. Building peace is a collaborative process. It requires an acceptance of differences and a collective vision that, regardless of race, religion, there are far more things that unite us than those that seemingly divide us. May this peace monument embody and propagate the oneness of humanity. And that's signed by the new president, because unfortunately Dr. Luda Moore has retired, and he has passed the buck to A.J. Prakas, president of the International Institute for Peace in India. So we have a lot of partners that are recognizing us. Now, we have another message here from Sharon Paris Chambers, who has been involved with the Manchester Peace Coalition. We have the ambassador program, the Peace Ambassador program, but I'll just read briefly what she has to say. She says, greetings of peace and love to dignitaries. Special honor to Dr. Luda Moore, founder of the Institute of Peace Through Tourism, IIPT. Mr. Dr. Clifton Reed, Manchester Peace Coalition, and Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration of Light, and their team, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sharon Paris Chambers, co-founder, Temple of Inner Peace, along with my husband and partner, Theo Chambers. We operate a peace oasis called Temple of Inner Peace. It is a sacred space dedicated to people locally and around the world to commune with their sage within. And that is something, by the way, that network and its partners for peace. Do you remember when Mandeville was dedicated as the Caribbean's first IPT peace town? And some of us here today witnessed that piece of history. What a proud moment that was. Many eventful years have passed swiftly along to arrive at this moment when we, with great equality, accept the honor of another peace monument donated by Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration of Light as a grant to Country Style. The symbol of peace offered by Heavenly Culture, World Peace and Restoration of Light group is no light gesture. Very important statement. Rather, it is a symbol of our unique thirst for our inner peaceful nature to be reflected in the world. However, we cannot be at peace when more than 2 billion people in the world go hungry nightly, when women are discriminated against in the workplace as victims of peace. We cannot have peace until the girl child is lifted up, attends school regularly, and is cared for around the world. We must pledge today to do what we can to work with our own communities and those around the world, teaching them to feed themselves instead of giving them a fish. Children are more than twice as likely as adults to live in extreme poverty, according to a new analysis from the World Bank Group and UNICEF. Ending extreme poverty, a focus on children finds that in 2030, 19.5% of children in developing countries were living in households that survive on an average of US 1.90 a day or less per person. 2% of adults. Globally, almost 380 bold letters to eradicate lasting peace in our generation. Following the lessons of the beloved mystic Sanguru, I don't know how to pronounce that one, Sanguru, on peace, we look within as we pledge to quiet our own minds with the promise of the author Sharon Paris Chambers from her self-development book, Living Life as a Sacred Practice, Discover Yourself as a Source of Creation. In a world full of change and uncertainty, do not be afraid. Retreat to your temple of inner peace for guidance, strength, and vision. I use this moment to congratulate Heavenly Culture World Peace and Restorative of Light and their team for awarding this important monument to Country Style Communityism Network and the Manchester Peace Coalition. Please speak by Mrs. She wants me to ask you all to get up now, and I'm going to repeat it. One Love Peace Ambassador Pledge. Okay? That's how we're going to end this. All right? Okay, you ready? I'll say, and then you repeat. I pledge under God to be the peace I want to see in the world. To show respect and tolerance for all. I pledge with all my heart and mind to love and forgive. And to trust myself and others. As a committed One Love Peace Ambassador, I pledge to foster peace and love every day. In doing so, I heal myself, my country, and the world. With one love, one heart, at a time. And this was inspired by Sharon Paris Chambers and adopted by the Manchester Peace Coalition and the International Institute for Peace through Tourism Caribbean chapter. This is very important, so you all, make sure you all get it, because you're all now ordained peace ambassadors. You have just done the pledge. So thank you all, and we are going to move forward now. You said you want to do the unveiling now? We're going to do the drums first, but
Can we come back and do the drums after?
no, it's better if you finish and we do the unveiling. Finish the program. Finish the program. Okay, all right. So I pass you back. You're going to do that.
Thank you so much, Auntie Diana. You may be seated. Thank you for doing those messages. Good job. All right, we have with us an international artist, international drummer man. Him go all over the parishes, St. Thomas, Trelawney, St. Mary, Portland, Manchester, Clarendon, everywhere in Jamaica. He goes by the name Mr. Bunny. You will put your hands together for him as he comes drumming. Big round of applause. Come on for the drummer man. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's Buddy Hewitt for you. Put your hands together for him one more time. Yes, man. All right, so tell me some of the rhythms you identified. See, for the cultural area we're now. Yes, Mr. Bunny, listen to the answer. Dinky Minnie, you play some Dinky Minnie, Mr. Bunny? Correct. Anybody else? Any recognize anything else? No? Yeah? What about men? Mentor? Mentor, not true. Yes, man. What else again? Any Naya Bingi? What you say, Naya Bingi? Brookings. And a touch of revival. You see how many? Put your hands together for him one more time. Good job. Great job. And as was said, drumming has a lot to do with peace. And so we ought to do some of that every now and then. Right? We can use our hands. We can do a citation that we are going to present we're going to present to Mrs. Dothlin Levy. She is a society. The paper. It will be read by Miss Pamela Dunkley Thomas. It will be read by Miss Pamela Dunkley Thomas, and it will be received by Miss Jasmine Fagan. All right, and to do that presentation, we're going to ask Christine to do the presentation, Auntie Christine Dawkins, JP, to do the presentation. Come on, we're affirming everybody this afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. Good to be here. We have a wonderful weather today. Okay, I'll be reading this citation to Mrs. Dothlin Levy. I'm sorry she wasn't able to be here today, but Mrs. Jasmine Fagan will accept it on behalf of her. Okay? Mrs. Dothlin Levy has been an active, long-standing member of the Manchester Horticultural Society, spanning more than 3 decades. Her love and passion for horticulture and nature has been central to her involvement in the society. For many years, she worked alongside Mrs. Worla Alberger, former president, learning the ropes of running the organization. A task that is not easy, giving her 100% to whatever she was tasked to do. She rose from the member of the executive to vice president, a position she held for many years. When Mrs. Alberger demitted office a few years ago, it was a smooth transition for her, taking over the presidency of the society. Mrs. Levy possesses a wealth of knowledge and experience relating to plants, staging and judging, and she was the one to load the bus with the plants and flowers for auction at the other parishes' shows. All exhibitions arriving and returning in perfect condition. She was a hard worker, and the society has benefited tremendously from her contribution. The Manchester Horticulturist owes her a debt of gratitude for her long and dedicated service to our organization. We really will miss her, but she is still working in the background. Okay? So on behalf of the Horticultural Society, this is Jasmine Fagan, are part of the society. We will be presenting the citation to Mrs. Jasmine Fagan on behalf of Mrs. Levy.
Okay, I didn't want to wrap it because I want everybody to see what I'm giving them. I'd like Reagan to come. Reagan, come around. I'm presenting you. You said you feel good in Jamaica, and you said you feel good in Manchester, right? So we are going to embrace you as a citizen of our country. Okay? And so I'm giving you this, or Jamaican flag, turn it around, or Jamaican flag for you to use how you want it, and also a souvenir map of Jamaica. Okay? We can take a picture of me and her. One love. And we would like to get her partner. I have forgotten you. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Thank you very much for all the support you've given us. And next time you come, you must bring your wife so that she can enjoy the hospitality that we have to offer. And this little gift is a barn hall from our own factory here. Hell hot sauce, jerk marinade sauce, everything. Okay, thank you. That's it. And thank you all.
Thank you so much. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the moment that when we're going to be doing the unveiling. And so I'm going to invite Reagan Durkin. Miss Durkin, come right over here. And you are in charge now. You are totally in charge. Come on, everybody say in charge. In charge. All right.
Yeah, I like to take charge. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, yeah, like was said, we're going to have the unveiling. All right, so what that will mean is, I think it's still a little drizzly, but if we're all okay to get a little wet, is that okay? For peace? A little rain on us for peace? Okay. So what we're actually going to do, because we first want to capture the heart of Jamaica for world peace, so we're gonna actually go to what looks like the back of the monument, so not the front at first, and that's where we're going to cut the ribbon. So if we could have, let's see, a couple of us, Mr. Hanum, would you guys stand, and then stand, and then if everybody here would also stand, and then James is gonna direct you guys back and have you hold the ribbon, and then we're gonna get set up, and then if all of us can then go and gather around the monument so that we can have the ribbon cutting and the unveiling, okay? So if we can all quickly go there so we stay as dry as possible, and then we'll go ahead and... All right. And you can bring your flags. This will be celebratory. Just a little wet transition. I heard you built it.
Oh, watch out. Ready? One, two, three. Go, 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 go. You can do it. Yes, you guys can do it.
Oh, one side, one side.
Do it. Yeah.
Take it from one side. How about pulling it to this side? Just pull it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Ah, beautiful, beautiful.
Yay! Okay, okay. All right, so now if all of you, we're gonna fix the floor. But if everybody who was a part want to gather here for a group photo, so one more as we're all out in the rain. If we want to gather with umbrellas for group photo, come, come, hurry, come, come. Sorry, this would be much more.
You want to come up? Yeah. On the umbrella? Yeah, man. Jolene? Yeah? Cut to the next gang. Sorry, wait. Yeah?
Go ahead.
Huh?
You can manage?
You did cut already? No, what do you mean? Select the next speed and cut scene from the scene.
No, they didn't. No, no, that part is. So they still have that part.
ladies and gentlemen, there is refreshment. If you can, no, we. Eh? Oh, the vote of thanks. Sorry.
Okay, gentlemen, just let's regather for just 2 minutes. We have a vote of thanks, And we have refreshments after, so don't leave us yet. Thank you so much for the sacrifice. Rain feel nice, not sure. I tell you, I tell you. So many of us haven't been in the rain for a very long time. Your Uncle Everton, all you. No, no rain for you, eh? Not now. When you were younger, running up and down, playing, putting boat in the water, and all them things. Take off shoes and come home from school. Yeah, man, when you reach home, you're wet like chicken. All right, then. All right, all right. Thank you so much for the sacrifice. Great job. Good job, Regan. Good job. You are a leader indeed. Right. You weather every weather. Very good, very good. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And the little young boy, yes, thank you so much for being with us here this afternoon. And all the good things must come to an end, right? And so we're going to be asking Mrs. Valerie Dixon, Vice President of Countryside Tourism Network, CCTM, to come and move the vote of thanks. Put your hands together for Auntie Valerie. Come on. Thank you, dear.
As our MC said, all good things and bad things too must come to an end. I believe the hardest job in any ceremony is the job of the person who has to give the vote of thanks. Excuse me? To remember everybody and to remember everything that everyone said is not humanly possible. And I can attest to that fact. You remember one time in a school we talk about comprehension and précis and how you must shorten things to be so precise? If you can't do that, then we could be here all night. First and foremost, I must say thank you to everyone who has been involved in the staging of this event. I am going to try my best and remember all these acronyms, that is, all the letters and what they mean, because it's quite a few. So first, Heavenly Culture World Peace and Restoration Light, in partnership with Country Style Community Tourism Network, the Manchester Peace Coalition, the Manchester Horticultural Society, and the Manchester Municipal Corporation. Thank you. And now I'm going to name some persons who actually said something, and I'm going to be saying it very briefly, I promise. But before I do that, I have to also thank Mr. Odell Marsh for being here with us, Mr. Marsh. Yes, sir. And you are, I'm going to read people handwriting some more. And you are Jamaica at jci.com. Yes. And you are the national president, Junior Chamber International, Jamaica. That's right. And your vice president, Mr. Reneel Clark, and you are the vice president. Yes. Let me now go on to all the persons, I hope that I will get them right, who actually came up and gave greetings, messages, and a little speech or a big speech, depending on how you see it. Thanks to Mrs. Peter Gay Campbell, for your illustrious job of being the MC. Girl, I want some of those quotations that you have there, because I can borrow them. And I thank you for wanting to reconnect with me, because I've had a long association with Campbell Castle's primary school. So, Mr. Omar Clark and Miss Alicia White, thanks for all the, is what again? The videography and the audio and the music and all of the live streaming. We thank you. Then we move on to prayer by Mrs. Geraldine Reed. Oh, Robert, sorry. See what I mean? Beg pardon, please. Yes. And it's written as Robinson here, but Mama say I get hungry. Yes, from Mrs. Geraldine Robertson, executive member of the Manchester Peace Coalition. The introduction of the Master of Ceremonies. Thank you, Miss Jones. Mrs. Dana McIntyre Pike, you are the founder president of Country Style Tourism Network, Villages as Businesses. We are here, all of us, because we are the ones committed to peace. Rain or fall, we could well have been at home, because nobody throw water in our beds. But here we are, sitting down and making this function a very, very big success for Miss Durkin and Mr. Trent. Dana, founder, President Country Style, you made your comments, and we are thankful that you have been able to leave politics as much as possible from the work that you are doing. Yes, I think that is so very, very important, yes. And we hope and pray that Come Trust will become a reality. Come Fund, beg pardon. Inspector Gertlin Lloyd. Is birth? Beg pardon. Inspector Berthlyn Lloyd, you applauded the work of the Peace Coalition as they partner in, now we hear, 24 communities to make Jamaica a better place. A place that we can all be proud to raise our families in and to do business. That's a serious, serious thing. And at the present time here, we have to remain optimistic. Dr. Marcia Brandon, for your overview, we're very grateful. I wasn't quite clear who Daniel Christian was, but we thank you for your experience, your expertise, and your passion for sustainable livelihood, which is the focus being on entrepreneurship. I don't know where we get this idea from, that we must work for people. Because our ancestors didn't have any choice. And they built their houses, they did all of their businesses without much help. But they were united and built houses. Some of them still can withstand hurricane to this day. And those of us who have houses built by people who said I'm going to school, they roof them down into the gully. So I'm thankful for you that you're actually working with people to help them to help themselves. I think that requires a round of applause. Self-help was what Marcus Garvey was all about. Some of us don't like him, but we may have to go back and seek him out. Regan, you have dedicated your life to peace, right? Yes. And we're happy that you are celebrating that there is an alternative way to live without having to go to war. If every soldier would have just say, I am Muhammad Ali, the people in Vietnam don't know me nothing, so I am not going over there to kill anybody. But people have to eat. We thank you also for bringing this monument here to us at Brooks Park. And it's actually the second one in Manchester. Am I correct, Diana? The second one, as as the MC said, when things change inside of you, you can make a bigger impact on those around you. I like that. We thank the Manchester Horticultural Society, the Municipal Corporation, and everyone who has made the grounds here possible for this ceremony to take place. Again, Madam MC, we all must find inner peace. That is one, now two. Mr. Seymour Roden, Lanicia's brother, thank you for looking out for young men and women of purpose and to ensure that we cater to the wholesome and holistic development of our young people. That's a big job, but you are doing a big job. Dr. Clifton Reed, your representative, Mrs. Jones, thank you for reading his citation, and for the Manchester Peace Coalition. To promote peace throughout Manchester, you have made it possible. And that is something that can and will be built on. To deploy and employ trainers, that is good. Because we chat so much and there is little or no action. When people get the piece of paper, the question they always ask is, so where is the work? So we need people who can provide employment and hope and pray that the elements and the powers that be will give those people who are capable of employing others the chance to do so. Mrs. Christine Dawkins, in your capacity as principal of Leeds Primary, I thank you for promoting peaceful communities. You read this citation, or it was, Mrs. Dawkins. Miss Dawkins, you represented our custos, Lieutenant Colonel Garfield Green. We all want peace, which was the basic thing that the Custos was saying. And he has seen where the level of badness, impropriety, has increased in Manchester by 35%. That is not good. When I came to Manchester, if you had a car, you were very fortunate. And you could reach everywhere in Manchester in 9 minutes. I used to time it. We didn't know about murders. If murders happened, we spoke about it forever. Why has our communities been allowed to sink to such depths? We are responsible. As you said, that Ronald Reagan is the one who said, and here I paraphrase, that to handle conflict, it has to be by peaceful means. We have to turn to ourselves to find solutions. We're all teachers, beginning in the homes. Schools must strengthen on our values and our attitudes. That's something I have not been hearing much about these last few days. Maybe it is old school, but I think we need to get Jamaica back to the place where values and attitudes were positive things to have. Now we all claim, the young people that is dunceness around the show. I come now to Dana. You said, Dana, that the first peace monument and now another monument is to be unveiled on the grounds of the oldest horticultural showgrounds in the Western Hemisphere. That is so true. And I hope and pray that the day will come when this ground, the Horticultural Society, will be a botanical garden of world-class status. Kew Gardens, when you talk about Manchester Horticultural Society, when we have shows, it must be top shelf, up there. Tadady, you know what. Sharon Paris Chambers, you have to help me here, Diana. She is the co-founder of the Temple of Inner Peace. Inner Peace. Inner Peace. And so, to be able to commune within ourselves. We stop pray fervently, you know. Our old ancestors used to pray and pray and pray. I remember my great grandaunt, she was 90 enough. And when we said to her, so Zena, you soon ready now to leave us? No, Miss Valerie, me still have work to do. At your age, Zena? Yes, Miss Valerie, may have to pray for everybody. We don't hear much of that anymore. So, Dana, please let us have the pledge that we all stood and said. And drumming by Bunny. Where is Bunny? Bunny, thank you. You know why? I'm going to give you a little piece of history. Drums were deliberately taken out of primary school's curriculum back in the day because our colonial masters knew the power of the drum. And they could not afford for us to get that powerful. So many things we take for granted, which is why we remain the way we are, but only we of ourselves can change that. After Bunny did doing drumming, is what else did happen? God. No, on a serious note, I must have been traveling. Oh, we went to do the citation. So so everything really ended with Bunny and the drumming. Dotlin Levy. Where do I have Mrs. Levy's name? Dotlin, where are you? At home. I know Mrs. Levy, so I can ad-lib it. She knows plants, and her yard is an example of what someone who is passionate about flowers will do. Every plant that I think I know, Miss Dutlin has a couple of them well around her yard. Nothing is unique for Miss Dutlin. And to see her really pack that bus to take her plants and other people's plants to every horticultural show that took place in Jamaica, it really was something else. Those people are our warriors who keep our values, our attitudes, all the things we hold dear to our hearts, they keep it alive. Dear God, please let the young people understand that these things are good and must be continued. Did anything else happen after this? Oh, and finally, thank you all for being so brave.
Two people who designed this and who built it. I just wanted to thank Mr. Horace Donovan for having designed this monument. And I noticed that Mr. Rochester, son of Mr. Rochester, Mr. Rochester is here who built it. He put a lot of energy into it, and I think we should recognize him. And when we do the picture, we'd like to have you up there too, please, so don't disappear.
Okay. And Fruits Gallery that gave the fruits for us to enjoy after the ceremony is over. We would like to thank them again for their dedication to what we're doing here with the Peace Coalition. Did anything else happen? So I've covered everything now? Okay. I keep telling you, you must come up here and try this thing if you think it's easy. It is not easy to remember, and worst of all, to capsulate it in 2 sentences or couple sentences to remind us of why we're sitting here. I go to my yard now, and I would like to thank you all very, very much for blessing us with your presence, even though we had the little hiccup of the rain. Yes. But the Chinese will tell you that when you have a function and it rains, that is a sign of good luck and prosperity. Feng Shui. So thank you all again. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of us who participated to make this event a success.
Beautiful, fabulous, fabulous. There we go. Wonderful, wonderful. And so we want to say thank you, Miss Valerie. Not true. Come on, say everybody say thank you, Auntie Valerie. Good job, good job, good job. And one last thought. St. Francis says, never be in a hurry. Do everything quietly and in a calm spirit. Do not lose your inner peace for anything whatsoever, even if your whole world seems upset and everything else around you, storm, everything else, you just keep your inner peace. Ladies and gentlemen, have a peaceful, peaceful week, a peaceful life. God bless you. Walk good. And thank you. Refreshments, right. And go for your refreshments in that direction. Over to you, Regan.
Sorry. Last thing. We're going to, since the rain has died down, if you want to go and take another photo. Right. For those who worked on the project and whatnot, if we can head over there, and then you can get your refreshments. Thank you.
Thank you, ever working girl DJ. Over to you.
So